Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a Storm of Swords as House Targaryen, or Young Griff, or House Blackfire, or whatever the hell you want to call him, Aegon Targaryen, Rhaegar Targaryen's son, but for all intents and purposes, we are going to be playing as the character himself, who believes that he is Rhaegar's son. A little bit of backstory. For those of you that have only watched the shows and haven't read the books, Young Griff / Aegon Targaryen isn't in the show, so essentially he is Rhaegar Targaryen's son, allegedly, who Varys the Spider spirited away to Essos, and he's been hiding there since. He returns with the Golden Company, which is a massive sellsword company that traditionally supports the Blackfires, which is a cadet branch of House Targaryen, and there was a bunch of wars and conflict between them. They've been in exile for years. All of the Blackfires are allegedly dead, again, allegedly, just like Aegon is allegedly Rhaegar Targaryen's son. The reality stands, he could be Rhaegar's son, maybe. He could also just be a Blackfire pretender from the female line, or he could just be some pisswater lowborn kid that they pulled out of Lys and are using as a puppet. Either way, nobody knows. And there's no real way to prove it. If he gets the throne, nobody's going to argue. But yeah, we start off with a fucking powerful as hell sellsword company, which is the Golden Company, essentially. I'm building a bunch of armies in here. I've destroyed mostly everything, especially things down in the south where we're not really going to be defending anything. But we're going to rally these guys up and send flowers here up north in the next turn. So he'll go up there. These guys will join him. Building some ships and 2 armoured swordsmen as well. Ships are always important in Hotseat. Turn 1, always build fucking ships. Our fleets here are essentially what they are. There's not really much going on at turn 1. Diplomacy-wise, we have made an alliance with House Tyrell, and Marjorie Tyrell has married Aegon, so she's now Queen Marjorie Targaryen. So hopefully they pop out a kid pretty soon. Aegon's not bad, actually. Is he a Night Fighter? I haven't checked. Yes, he is. Cool. Alright. But yeah, Aegon is my only family member. And we've got Jon Cunnington, who's like a father figure for Aegon. He is the exiled lord of Griffin's Roost. Anyway, we'll go to the next turn, and the turn 2 I should be able to keep and entertain you a little bit with some diplomacy that's been going on. Welcome to turn 2. I'm giving back. I stole shit from Todd. The message from Tyrell, Redwayne, and Randall Tarly will meet up with your forces at Bronze Gate next turn and prepare to march from King's Landing at your command. Mace Tyrell. Also, I got my shit here, of which I'm going. I could sink Edric Storm here and there, but I want Edric live, so I'm gonna get the admin to do a little RP event where he washes up on the shores of Thing after I sink his fleet. Edric washes up on the shores and becomes either a captive or a member of my faction, so that I can control him, and then we'll make him the Lord of Storm's End, of which we are in talks with the Martells. Weirdly, because the Martell player is completely nuts. I don't know exactly what he wants at this point, but he seems interested in Edric Storm for some reason. But we'll see what happens with that. Yeah, Flowers is here. I'm probably going to send him over to Rainhouse, and then he can get picked up by one of these ships as they come down here to pick him up. Same with even for Hall, there's a bunch of troops. I've got a bunch of money. I'm kind of like stockpiling stuff right now. And Aegon's army is just badass. Doing more shit in there. And then we've got Randall Tarly showing up. There's the Redwayne fleet, which came down from Dragonstone. That is about it. Actually, we've been made contact with House Frey of the Riverlands. Glorious and honourable House Frey, who is he's doing some decent RP. I'll put it up on the screen somewhere so you can pause and read it if you like. It's worth a little read. I like how he's in character a bit. Anyway, the Freys are allegedly backing me. They're going to keep my enemies busy in the Riverlands, apparently. I don't think he has much of a choice, really. I don't think anyone trusts. I mean, it's Frey. None of them trust him up there. I'm pretty sure they just want to kill him and take his land. So he doesn't have much of a choice. But Frey's demise or continued struggle will keep our enemies a bit occupied elsewhere. Currently, as it stands, we are allied to the Tyrells, who are paying me a bit of money every turn, and the Martells, who are also paying me a bit of money every turn. That's to stop me from going into too much debt. Actually, it's to stop me from going into, like, any debt, really. Just while I have all these cell swords and shit, so I can keep this awesome army together without going into debt. And that will allow me to keep them, and then I can hopefully gather, like, 3 stacks, and then march on King's Landing with, like, 4, or maybe 5, if I can muster some more troops from the Reach. But for now, we'll go to the next turn and see what happens. Alright guys, turn 3. Talks continue with the phrase. We've had a bit of back and forth. Essentially, there's going to be... I can't really do anything with the phrase. It's just nice to have a little bit of a buffer and keep my enemies sort of occupied. I would like to announce the birth of Princess Cirilla. For all intents and purposes, I'm just going to call her Ciri. she is Cirilla. Cirilla Targaryen. Short, Ciri for short. So, essentially, in my head, she is the reincarnation of Ciri from the Witcher. So yeah, she is the daughter of time, whatever the hell it is. My Witcher lore is very bland. Yeah, Aegon and everyone. We've got Tarly inside of here, so we're going to slowly move up through the Kingswood up to King's Landing, and I'm just gathering the rest of my troops inside Storm's End, which will be like another stack. We are losing a bit of money every turn, but thanks to the income from our allies, we are staying in the green. Frey is, technically speaking, allied with the Lannisters. I'm pretty sure he's playing them a bit or something. He might just be playing us as well. It is Frey, after all. We don't know what he's actually up to. Some good news, however. King Aegon Targaryen, King of the Andals, the First Man, Lord of the Seven Kingdoms, and Protector of the Realm. The Ironborn on the left, the Reach, and we'll sail to north towards the... Yeah? The Twins. The Twins? Yeah, alright. You may not know much about the land there, Westeros, but the rumours that Frey has unhonourable and killed people in marriage. And I am sure you have heard it, yeah. I shall take the Twins and plan... Yeah, okay, that's a bit odd. Yeah, I don't know what's going on there. We have, or I should say, the Tyrells have managed to talk the Greyjoys into joining us, or at the very least, fighting our enemies rather than fighting us. So he's leaving the Reach and returning things like the Arbor and stuff to the Tyrells, which makes the Tyrells that much stronger. So they're going to leave. I think they've either got a Nap or on the Alliance or something with us, so they'll leave us alone. And they'll fight the Lannisters or the Freys or whatever the fuck it is he's doing exactly. I'm not sure. But it's a win. I'm calling it a win. We don't have to worry about the Greyjoys, or Tyrell doesn't have to worry about the Greyjoys. Which is a good thing, because he can now focus entirely on helping me with King's Landing while also defending its borders. It's a bonus. It's a good thing. An alliance with Greyjoy is always a good thing in a hot seat. Just even if it's as a nap or an agreement with Greyjoy, if you have an understanding with them, because Greyjoy can be devastating with their fleet powers and their strength at the sea. They can attack fucking anywhere, which is it can be just. I mean, if Greyjoy attacks to the west, he can very easily, if the player's any good, take the entire coast of the Westerlands without the Lannisters being able to do anything about it. Same goes with Brightwater Keep, Old Oak, Brightwater Keep, the Shield Islands, even the Arbor especially, Sunhouse and all that. Greyjoy can take all those things fairly easily, without much of a challenge. And obviously we don't want that. So it's good to have them on our side, or at least not as our immediate enemies. And he does refer to himself as Lord Victorian Greyjoy rather than King Victorian Greyjoy, so I'm going to take that as a good sign. Anyway, moving on. And in the next turn, we will move up towards King's Landing very slowly, moving up with the Tyrells ahead of us. Alright guys, turn 4. We've continued to move up. I've put Tarly here. I can get attacked from if the enemy goes to this little point here and attacks me. He can attack Connington. The thing is, if he attacks Connington, yeah, he can only get one army in range to do that kind of thing. So one army versus 3, he's not going to win. So we've got no threat there. But in the next turn, we should be able to, yeah, fight Fort off the coastline, push a bit on King's Landing kind of thing. Getting to King's Landing is going to be a pain in the arse, because this bit here is a choke point. So that's like the only way in. Well, actually, there is a crossing up there, which we could try. I don't know. I've been talking to Frey, seeing if he could send down men, but he's like way too busy for that. Yeah, Tully's moved up in range of all your men, and my fleet has moved adjacent to the port of Storm's End to escort your fleet. stack north. Garland and another stack aside a hall, and I shall be sending them to join when with the men I have at Tumbleton. So Garland Tyrell is somewhere outside the hall, and he's got a half a stack at Tumbleton. So that will be our 4th stack, marching on King's Landing. And then we've got our 5 stacks here as well when Yunwood showed up, and he'll go immediately up here. We should take him 1, 2, 3 or 4 turns to get to King's Landing. So that's another army we've got right there. I'm going to wait for my ships to be built, and I'm retraining one of these galleys as well, which is handy. And then we'll probably sail north with what we have. With the might of the Tyrell fleet and my fleet, it should be more than enough to match Baratheon's, so we won't have much of an issue in that regard. And we've got another sailor coming up as well to join us, which should, yeah, it will arrive. It's going to arrive in 2 turns, so it will arrive when my other ships are built as well, which is all good. It's all going well. It's all going well. I have an alliance with the Tyrells, which is insanely powerful. The Greyjoys are off our backs. The Freys are apparently / allegedly with us / fighting our enemies. Oh yeah, Edric Storm he's with us. The admin wouldn't make him part of our faction. Essentially, he's our captive, basically. He is our captive. Oh yeah, if you're wondering why I have Bear Keep, I think it was just to keep the Targaryen faction alive or something. I'm not sure why I have Bear Keep, honestly. I don't remember. But yeah, Asher Greyjoy's up there. Because I think Stannis has Asher Greyjoy. Yeah, he would, wouldn't he? He has him captive in the books. And yeah, Edric Storm, Edric Baratheon is our captive, and RP, in an RP sense, he's at Storm's End right now. So he's ours, and our bitch, so to speak. The Martells are distinctively after marrying him for some reason. I think Alert, the Martell player, is after control of the Stormlands later on, which is a little odd, but we'll see what happens in that regard. Moving on,